Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. My question is directed to the one who is representing ZAC. My question is, what are you doing in terms of women in mining who are being raped outside Harare? Now we understand there is 8 provinces which is dealing with mines and mining. You know, it zaki dikumboita nezvei maringe nemadzimai ari kurepwa ari kuuraiwa ende handinambobvera ndanzwa kuti pane mudzimai akamboonekwa akabata machete. Vazhinji vacho, the rest, they are all men. What are you doing as Zaki? Because it's gender corruption. You understand kuti nyaya dzemadzimai, women in mining, inyaya dziri kutarisirwa pasi, inyaya dzisiri kuonekwa sekunge dzakakosha in terms of zvinhu zvekushandisa. Even in mining, women are being discrimination nenyaya dzekuti havasi kupuhwa zvinhu zvekuti vashandise nekuti madzimai, ende madzimai acho ndo ari kuenda achinorepwa, ndo ari kuuraiwa. Mune mastatistics api sekutanga kwakaita nyaya dzemashurugwi vachiuraya vanhu, kuti madzimai mangana akarepwa, madzimai mangana akauraiwa, and what are you doing? Chamuri kumboita chi? And my contribution also, this is not a question, ndekuti I'm appealing to the president Mnangagwa kuti vangoti stop it. I think the president himself vakangoti stop it kuma machete guys. Shinongopera zvakadaro. If the president keep on quiet, it doesn't make any sense because he's the senior person in this government. I thank you.
Thank you. Does that eat into the third question? Yeah, I'll take that side.
Okay, thank you for the
Can you
launch.
speak up?
So, I would like to thank TIZ for the launch, and I would like to ask a question. Thank you for the launch, it was wonderful. What's next? Where do we go from here?
Okay, perfect. So that's to TI, outside the panel. Okay, good. So there's a question, I'll answer that question and my colleagues will assist me. Unfortunately, I think there's networking, so I think you can always ask questions. Mashed, tell the president to stop it, but do you have the statistics? What are you doing besides responsible gold outsourcing? Because there's a no question asked policy. Zach, what are you doing? Parliament, what are you doing? I think that's the summative question.
Okay, I think I'll answer to maybe the aspect of women in mining. Yes, I agree with you to say participation of women in the mining sector is very, very low. For our case, like Fidelity Printers, what we have done, after we created the gold mining fund, we had to set aside a portion specifically for women. And we even tried to relax some of the requirements. But the reason why we did that is because we had realized that the uptake of the fund from the female side was very, very low. But despite all the effort that we did, again, women, they are not coming forward. They are not participating. So we strongly encourage to say, may women participate. And the fund, like I've said, for our side, the fund is there. It's a mining fund, which is meant to capacitate those women who own gold mining claims.
Parliament? So last year, only 6 women accessed the gold fund. Only 6 women access this fund.
Thank you for the question. As Parliament, we are involved. I think the answer is to the mashurugwi issue, isn't it? As I said earlier on, Parliament is there to make laws for an orderly society. And Parliament works through a committee system. As I speak right now, the various committees related to the mining sector are on the ground, including our committee on security, is also on the ground on a fact-finding mission to establish what exactly is happening in the mining sector. They will table a report in Parliament, which report will be debated in Parliament, and a way forward will be established. That's where Parliament is involved at this stage. Members of the public will hear after the report is tabled in Parliament. I think that's what I can submit for now.
Zach?
In terms of that specific issue, in fact, ZRP is the one that is seized with that matter. And I'm sure we've read about what ZRP is trying to do, the reports that have come out, how many people have been arrested. That would not be really a ZAC mandate, because ZAC is there to look at, corruption. But in terms of those criminal activities, people being attacked, the machete gangs, that would be a police issue to deal with. But in terms of generally the mining sector, ZAC has launched a study into mining sector leakages. We know that there have been quite a number of, a lot of work that has been done around that. And we're going to be tapping into the work done by TIZ, ZELA, the Parliament of Zimbabwe, so that we can also, as ZAC, make our own recommendations to government in line with that function that I spelled out. So generally, that's what ZAC is looking into. Our focus is how do we plug corruption loopholes in the mining sector. That will be our focus. It will not just be a general study, but the other studies that have been done will inform, the work that we're going to be doing.
Okay, good. So I want to answer the so what question, but I wanted Christabel just to run through the slides from the first one so that this is the last part and this is our goodbye before our closing remarks. So I think we started with the score. It has changed. This is how much we are losing as a country to corruption in tax administration. Next slide. These are the losses from the study that we did, but the people will be at the burden of corruption if you go to the last slides. Last one. Exactly. Women, access to health care, access to key social services like education, closing of spaces because of the machete violence. So what are we going to do as TIZ? The guys there, they are doing a policy submission. We want to make submissions to RBZ, to ZIMRA, to Gender Commission, and to the Public Accounts Committee, and monitor the extent to which some of our submissions are put into action. We intend to conduct trainings on gendered corruption, targeting police, targeting reporting institutions. I think Gender Commission has said that reporting institutions are more masculine in nature, so we need to depatriarchize those institutions. More importantly, I think we are considering opportunities for secondment to ZAC if we get funds to second a forensic accountant to ZAC and support them. Then track and monitor implementation of reforms by ZIMRA and other institutions. That's the answer to the so what question. Thank you so much. Then Mucha has something to say as well.
Perhaps just to add on to that, TIZ is going green. You might be expecting to get the research studies outside, but I do hope you have included your email addresses in the register and you'll be sending the link with the reports. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Someone did send a WhatsApp message saying he hopes that this second session is not of the perpetrators. The first session was of the victims of corruption. So to put a disclaimer, we are not corrupt. Thank you so much.
And so special thank you to our second panel. Let's put our hands together for them. Thank you so much, Farai, and indeed our panelists, thank you. We would like to also thank you for your contributions and ideas. You have given us your email addresses, and there are evaluation forms that have been sent to your emails. Please fill them in. Would love to hear from you. Your feedback is very important. We have an inclusive approach as far as fighting corruption is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, for our closing remarks, may we please welcome the Transparency International Zimbabwe Deputy Chairperson, Mrs. Zangare, for our goodbyes. Let's put our hands together for her.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished you are. I would like just to start off by saying, on behalf of Transparency International Zimbabwe, thank you ever so much for giving us this opportunity, the great opportunity, and for you being here. We know you all have very busy schedules, but thank you so much for gracing this occasion. It is with great sense of joy that I extend gratitude to the Embassy of Sweden and the people of Sweden. Your great support over years has not only made TIZ a growing concern, but continues to contribute to our learning as a country and policy change. As a Zimbabwean myself and Deputy Board Chair of TIZ, I'm very grateful. I'm more happier knowing that one of the studies, that is the gender and corruption research you supported, is in line with the developmental strategy of Sweden, as well as the Sustainable Development Goals. As we all have heard this morning and confirmed today, this is a pioneering study whose findings have the potential of shaping a huge public policy response to the problem of the gendered impacts of corruption in Zimbabwe. This event would not have been a great event had it not been for our speakers this morning. Your great insights and ideas always inspire us to create platforms for policy dialogue and reflective learnings. This great nation is in need of ideas, ideas to turn around the economy through confronting corruption in all its forms and improving on our tax regime. The results of the Corruption Perception Index presented this morning provides all of us with an opportunity to see how the outside world perceives us. Perceptions are very important, especially now as we live in a global community where we compete for investors. I'm therefore happy that institutions such as the Ministry of Finance, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, and other key regulatory agencies are here present. I want to thank you so much for attending and taking part in these conversations. We very, very much appreciate you. Special thanks also go to the Transparency International Zimbabwe team for organizing this event and for coordinating these two studies and others that will be launched to keep us all aware of the goings on. Please do keep up the good work. I always end, and I usually say when I'm talking, that I is only one, but us is a team. And us together as a team and together will help fight corruption. So let's continue to fight corruption. Once again, I thank you all for participating in making this event a resounding success. I want to wish you all a very good afternoon and enjoy the rest of your day. Go well. I thank you.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Zangare, TIZ Deputy Chair. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. And so thank you so much for coming through. Remember, we've got evaluation forms that have been sent to your emails. Please do fill them in and respond, and let's work together to fight corruption in our beautiful country. Now, we've got food that is going to be